Your company needs to process streaming data from IoT devices in real time and store the results in a relational database for reporting. Options: A. Use Kinesis data streams for ingestion, Lambda for processing, and DynamoDB for storage. B. Use Kinesis data streams for ingestion, Kinesis data analytics for processing, and RDS for storage. C. Use SQS for ingestion, Lambda for processing, and Aurora for storage. D. Use SNS for ingestion, Kinesis data analytics for processing, and DynamoDB for storage. Correct answer: B. Use Kinesis data streams for ingestion, Kinesis data analytics for processing, and RDS for storage. Explanation: Kinesis data streams handles real-time ingestion. Kinesis data analytics processes streaming data in real time. RDS provides a relational database for reporting. Why not other options? Option A. DynamoDB is not ideal for analytical reporting. Option C. SQS is not a streaming data service. Option D. SNS is for notifications, not streaming data ingestion. You are tasked with implementing a disaster recovery plan for an application running in the East 1 region. The application uses stateful data stored in RDS and must be recovered in another region with minimal downtime. Options: A. Use RDS read replica in another region and promote it during a disaster. B. Use S3 cross-region replication and manually rebuild the database in the disaster region. C. Use RDS multi-AZ with a failover to another region. D. Use AWS backup to take snapshots and restore in the disaster region. Correct answer: A. Use RDS read replica in another region and promote it during a disaster. Explanation: RDS read replica in another region provides a copy of the database that can be promoted as a primary instance. Why not other options? Option B. Manually rebuilding the database leads to significant downtime. Option C. Multi-AZ failover only works within the same region. Option D. Restoring from AWS backup snapshots is slower than promoting a read replica. Your company plans to migrate a monolithic on-premises application to AWS. The application requires low-latency access to a relational database and must remain highly available during the migration. Options: A. Use EC2 instances with an application load balancer, ALB, and RDS in multi-AZ mode. B. Use Elastic Beanstalk with an ALB and RDS in a single AZ. C. Use Lambda functions with DynamoDB and a global accelerator. D. Use EC2 instances with a network load balancer, NLB, and Aurora global database. Correct answer: A. Use EC2 instances with an application load balancer, ALB, and RDS in multi-AZ mode. Explanation: EC2 provides flexibility to lift and shift the monolithic application. ALB and RDS multi-AZ ensure high availability. Why not other options? Option B. RDS in a single AZ introduces a single point of failure. Option C. Lambda and DynamoDB are unsuitable for monolithic applications. Option D. NLB is for TCP/UDP traffic and not suitable for HTTP-based applications. Your organization has multiple AWS accounts, and you need to allow engineers from one account to access resources in another account securely. Options: A. Use IAM roles with cross-account trust policies. B. Use AWS SSO and share credentials manually. C. Use IAM users and duplicate the user accounts in each AWS account. D. Use Resource Access Manager, RAM, to replicate permissions across accounts. Correct answer: A. Use IAM roles with cross-account trust policies. Explanation: IAM roles with cross-account trust policies allow secure access without duplicating users. Why not other options? Option B. AWS SSO doesn't provide direct resource access across accounts. Option C. Managing duplicated IAM users is error-prone and not scalable. Option D. RAM shares resources, not permissions. You have a data analytics pipeline that transfers terabytes of data from on-premises to S3 daily. The solution should minimize transfer costs. Options: A. Use AWS Direct Connect with a public virtual interface. B. Use AWS Snowball Edge for bulk data transfer. C. Use AWS Data Sync over the Internet. D. Use a VPN gateway with S3 transfer acceleration. Correct answer, A. Use AWS Direct Connect with a public virtual interface. Explanation: Direct Connect reduces transfer costs for high-volume, consistent data transfer. Why not other options? Option B. Snowball Edge is for one-time bulk transfers, not daily operations. Option C. Data sync over the Internet incurs higher data transfer costs. Option D. S3 transfer acceleration is for speeding up, not reducing costs. You are developing a backend API for a mobile application. The API should handle authentication securely, scale with unpredictable workloads, and be cost-effective. Sensitive data should be encrypted in transit and at rest. Options: A. Use API Gateway, Lambda, Cognito for authentication, and DynamoDB for storage. B. Use EC2 instances behind an ALB, manage authentication with IAM, and store data in RDS, with encryption enabled. C. Use API Gateway with Lambda, IAM for authentication, and S3 for storage. D. Use Elastic Beanstalk with an ALB, RDS, and SQS for queuing. Correct answer: A. Use API Gateway, Lambda, Cognito for authentication, and DynamoDB for storage. Explanation: API Gateway provides secure endpoints. Lambda is serverless and scales automatically. Cognito handles authentication securely. DynamoDB is a scalable and cost-effective NoSQL database with encryption. Why not other options? Option B. IAM is not suitable for user authentication in a mobile app. EC2 and RDS introduce unnecessary costs and operational overhead. Option C. IAM cannot provide user-specific authentication, and S3 is not suitable for structured API storage. Option D. Elastic Beanstalk is not ideal for unpredictable workloads. Your e-commerce platform runs in the East 1 region using EC2 instances, RDS Multi-AZ for databases, and S3 for static assets. You need to ensure disaster recovery in West 2 with minimal RTO and RPO. Options: A. Use RDS read replica in West 2 and replicate S3 using cross-region replication. B. Use AWS Backup to take regular snapshots and store them in West 2. C. Use RDS Multi-AZ in West 2 and manually copy S3 objects. D. Set up Cloud Endure disaster recovery for EC2 instances, enable S3 cross-region replication, and use Aurora Global Database. Correct answer: D. Set up Cloud Endure disaster recovery for EC2 instances, enable S3 cross-region replication, and use Aurora Global Database. Explanation: Cloud Endure enables near real-time replication of EC2 instances. S3 cross-region replication ensures static assets are available in both regions. Aurora Global Database provides low-latency read access and quick recovery. Why not other options? Option A. RDS read replica cannot guarantee minimal RTO without promotion delays. Option B. AWS Backup is slower compared to real-time replication. Option C. RDS Multi-AZ is not cross-region, and manual S3 copying is inefficient. Your team must regularly transfer large datasets, 10 TB plus, from multiple locations worldwide to a central data lake on S3. The solution must minimize transfer time and cost. Options: A. Use AWS Snowball Edge for bulk transfers. B. Use S3 transfer acceleration for global high-speed uploads. C. Use AWS Data Sync with a VPN connection to AWS. D. Use Direct Connect with S3 multi-region access points. Correct answer: B. Use S3 transfer acceleration for global high-speed uploads. Explanation: S3 transfer acceleration uses AWS Global Edge locations to accelerate data uploads over long distances. Why not other options? Option A. Snowball Edge is best for offline or one-time bulk transfers, not regular transfers. Option C. Data sync is costlier for global data movement. Option D. Direct Connect is more suitable for consistent, high-volume transfers within a specific geography. Your company operates on-premises data centers and plans to extend its architecture to AWS for a hybrid solution. The on-premises data needs to connect securely to VPCs on AWS. Options: A. Use a site-to-site VPN for secure connectivity. B. Use AWS Direct Connect with a private virtual interface. C. Use Transit Gateway to connect on-premises to AWS. D. Use VPC peering to connect on-premises data centers with AWS. Correct answer: B. Use AWS Direct Connect with a private virtual interface. Explanation: Direct Connect provides dedicated, low-latency, high-bandwidth, and secure connections for hybrid cloud setups. Why not other options? Option A. DPN is suitable for smaller workloads, but may not meet performance requirements for large data transfers. Option C. Transit Gateway connects multiple VPCs, but isn't the best option for hybrid connectivity. Option D. VPC peering is for inter-VPC communication, not for connecting on-premises networks. You need to run a high-performance computing (HPC) workload that requires low-latency communication between compute nodes and high-throughput storage. Options: A. Use EC2 instances with EBS for storage and an ALB for communication. B. Use EC2 instances in a cluster placement group with FSX for Lustre. C. Use Lambda with S3 and CloudFront for data storage. D. Use AWS Batch with S3 for storage. Correct answer: B. Use EC2 instances in a cluster placement group with FSX for Lustre. Explanation: Cluster placement groups ensure low-latency communication between EC2 instances. FSX for Lustre provides high-performance, scalable storage for HPC workloads. Why not other options? Option A. EBS lacks the required high throughput for HPC workloads. Option C. Lambda is not designed for HPC workloads, and S3 is not a high-throughput file system. Option D. AWS Batch is suitable for batch processing, not low-latency HPC tasks.